Hello. Welcome. Welcome. It's day 2. Still not committed to making this Wolfenstein 3D-like, but we're here. We've got a task list to work on. We're going to work on it. We're going to be making HP, ammo, adding a basic shooting weapon. We're going to be making this mob something we can shoot with our weapon that we just implemented, and then we're going to give the mob the ability to shoot us back. Great. Let's get started there. Between now and last stream, I did a little bit of art. I made a door, a wood wall texture, and I did a guard texture. So this is what it looks like right now. We got doors. It's a little easier to look at, despite the fact that this texture is atrocious. The door texture I'm okay with. This is what an hour of attempting has produced. It's not great, but it's a lot better than just the Godot icon. So in the process of making that, I looked up how many sprites each enemy in Wolfenstein 3D has, and I see that it's over 50. Or no, it's not over 50. It is 50. If it took me an hour to make this, carry that 50 times, it's going to take me 50 hours to make enough art for one enemy. That's ridiculous. That's not something I can do. I don't know what I'm going to do as an alternative, but that needs to be something that gets resolved soon. Or next week is going to be a dead week because I'm just going to be spending the entire time making enough sprites for one enemy, and that sucks. But before we get there, let's add HP, ammo, and the basic shooting weapon. So adding HP is pretty easy, I hope. We are going to just create the health component. Components. We need a components folder. Because I want my mobs to have health too. So it's just easier to do it like this. Health component. Then, how did I do this? So the health component tracks var HP health, var max health. I think we exported both of those variables. No, we exported max health. No, we exported health. I can't remember. Basically, the idea is that we attach this component to the player and then to mobs. And then by virtue of that, this thing will automatically register itself with any handler, and it'll automatically register itself with the UI if this belongs to the player. And then on death, this will handle death. For a mob, we'll trigger the mob's death animation and we'll tell it to stop thinking. And then for the player, we'll trigger the you died screen, and then we'll loop to the beginning of the level or whatever. We need to know if we're a player. So this is an int. This is a bool. Is player. The health component should get parent.await the parent being ready before checking, do I belong to the player or not? Yeah. Okay, so on ready, we'll set health and max health to 100. Await get parent dot ready. Is player equals. I think you can do this. We can just say get parent is player. And we can do that because this has a class name. It does not. Okay. Now we can do that. And then we need to set up, if we're the player, we go to the world. How are we going to get to the world? We could call our level loader. Our level loader knows where the world is. Level loader dot world dot connect health component to UI. How did I do that before? I'm setting a signal. The signal is on health change, but who's setting the signal? Is the component setting the signal, or is the UI element setting the signal? Let me go to the world. Let me just hold off here. This control needs to have a health thing. I think I'm gonna make this smaller. Make it really small. It does not need to be big. We'll figure that out. Add a label. Health. And then we add a second label. Health text. $100. We add another label here. I don't know if maybe we don't do anything with the label. Maybe the label has no code. All of the code is handled in the health component. So we just need to get the label. Find as a node, get node. Yeah, get node. Root, can I do this? Oh no, I can't. It's gonna be world dot slash, nope. Control, health, text, label. Health label. It should not just be called label. That's silly. Rename. Health num. UILM equals that. And then anytime we change health, if we're the player, also change the UILM. Maybe we do all this after that. And then over here, we create a setter. X. If is player, if not is player, return. Health equals X. If we're okay. If we are the player, UILM dot value num. What is, oh, text equals health, equals x, string x. Okay. Is that it? I mean, it's not it because I don't want all health and all max health to be 100, but theoretically, all we need to do now is go to our player, add this here, and then that's wrong. Shoot, this needs to be a scene. That's my bad. Create new scene. Health component. Okay. We're going to change you to a node. All right, and then we're going to attach this script. Okay, and then we attach that to the player. And it's still the wrong thing. Great. Okay. Didn't crash. Good. Now let's add a button. Every time we use, let's just subtract 2 health. Health minus equals x. Great. Okay, so every time we hit spacebar, health should go down. Didn't work. Invalid function player use. Oh, shoot. Give me the player script again. Okay. Thought I undid. Oh, cannot get method get node on a null value. The level loader doesn't exist yet? Or the level loader exists. The world doesn't exist? Oh, it's not defined. Okay, so we can't do this. But the player only exists if they are... They exist, they're attached to the world. So we should be able to just say get parent, get parent. All right. Spacebar, yeah, our health just went down by 2. Subtract health is working and it's updating this. Okay, and then let's have a thing here that checks if health is greater than max health, health equals health. Or then if health is less than or equal to 0, we'll call get parent dot. We'll call a function here on death. And then that function is just going to say call get parent dot on death. Maybe we could do something like if that function exists, else print oops, no death. Okay, so invalid access to property or key on death on a base object of type character body 3D. Godot check if function exists. Has method. Oh, I instantly dropped to 0 hit points. Strange. That's not supposed to happen. What's wrong with my logic? Why are we instantly dropping to 0 hit points? Is max health? No, max health is 100. Oh, it's not. Because the order of this is wrong. Alright, there we go. Set the max health first and then set the health. Alright, so I've already tested this, but... Okay, we don't have a death. Ideally, we just call getParent.onDeath. But whatever. Let's go to our player. Let's call that function onDeath. Print to do death. Why did I make it only subtract 2 hit points? Okay, we'll figure that out. We have implemented health. We need to implement ammo. There's a reason this isn't under this. Ah, that's why it's not showing up. All right, whatever. Okay. Let's add a new thing, ammo. Oh, sorry, label. Calling this one ammo. And then beneath it is another label. Ammo num. Oops. Let's have that default to 0. And just to verify, yeah, okay. I think ammo is going to be something that we're just going to put in the player. I don't particularly see the reason to make a component. Oh, it's because if I put it in the player, then my player gets extra bloated. New scene, ammo component. This is only for the player, but I'm doing it like this. Create a new script. Okay. I don't know why I did that. var ammo equal int var max ammo. I think we can just copy this code. Except we know that this always belongs to a player because monsters will not have ammo. So we actually don't need to await the player, and we can just we'll just do that. I do need the UI element. I do need to do these in reverse order. I don't need this. I don't need this. All right, great. We now have ammo. I need to attach this to the player, and then we're done. It's giving us 8. Okay, so we've implemented ammo. We need a basic shooting weapon. So we're gonna need like a basic inventory just for weapons, just for holding weapons. So we're gonna have 4 weapons max. We're gonna start with 2 of them because that's how Wolfenstein is. So there's only it's a very basic inventory. Do we need it? Does it technically fulfill? I just need a shooting weapon. I don't actually need to implement the inventory. I should implement the inventory. Let's get that in. Make another component. Inventory component. Attach a script. Okay, what do I need this to be? The whole purpose of this is just for me to have an active weapon. And to store my weapons. So I'm going to have an array of weapons. I don't know why I'm stuck on this because there's a very like I can just hard code this and it's super easy, super done. But like for some reason I'm like, well, what if I want to add a 5th weapon? What if I want like to be able to have multiple, like I want multiple weapons to be able to go into slot 3. What if I want to be able to swap SWAT and stuff? I don't know why my brain is getting stuck on this because I can just be like, all right, var has pistol, true. Var has knife, true. Var has rifle equals false. Var has chain gun equals false. Boom, done. And then we just make a function that says, do I have this? And if so, then we return true. And if not, then we return false. And then we have a function that says, I picked up the rifle. Done. But I don't want to do this. I want this to be slightly more robust. What if I want to add a 5th weapon? Or what? Because I don't like these weapons. I think they're not exciting. I would rather have like I like the Doom weapons, so I would really like to just be able to say, if I get stuck, I want to be able to say, my inventory component can handle a 5th weapon existing. That's totally fine. Okay, var, let's make an array. Weapons. I could also store my keys here. Yeah. Collected weapons. We'll start it empty. We'll add weapons to it on ready. Let's define a weapon now. Isn't a weapon an entity? No, it's a, let's say pickupable. Item. We'll just call it item. Weapon. The weapon, it's an object in the world, but it's also an object that goes on the screen, and it defines your left mouse button, what it does. So could those be separated? Huh. I didn't really think about this. Because, like, the items that you pick up on the floor do not have to be the same items that are in your inventory. So what we could say is it's not really advantageous to separate out the code like that. So let's not. We got our weapon. It's actually going to be a node 3D because it needs to exist in the world. That would be why it doesn't make sense to have them be the same thing. So let's actually keep them separate. That means I need to create a new thing. So the inventory component has the state of a weapon is oh, come on. I've been just having a brain fart right now. Maybe I need to drink some water. Hold on. Okay. So each weapon might be a subcomponent of the inventory. And do I just want to define a new component, and this component is wholly responsible for managing whatever weapon is on screen? Because we're always going to have a weapon on screen. Why not? Why not? Active weapon component. Oh my God, that name. This feels like I'm over-engineering something. So the active weapon is responsible for two things. When I click the left mouse button to fire, or when I press the fire button, whatever. We'll just define that right now. Project settings, input map, FPS fire. And that's traditionally bound to the left mouse button and control. So when we press that button, we tell active weapon component, yo, I'm shooting. That may be responsible for drawing out the naive way is to just shoot out a raycast and say, did I hit a mob? Okay, let me first let me make sure I have ammo. No, let's let the player make sure I have ammo. The player gets into their ammo component. If the ammo component says, I have ammo, okay, then the player says, let me shoot the active weapon component. No. Let's let the active weapon component say, first, get parent dot. We need to have a link to the ammo component. So we will, when we're getting ready, we need to populate that component, await get parent dot ready, and then we get parent dot get node ammo component. Okay, so now we have the ammo component. We dot has ammo. If we don't have ammo, return. Else ammo component dot use ammo. And then we we've got a hit scan logic already. We should probably define, we should probably pass the buck here and say var active weapon equals, I don't know. Weapons, let's define a weapon. It's not an item. Let's just say pistol. Or, yeah. Weapon, it's going to take a resource. And that resource is going to contain everything. Var weapon data equals Create new resource. Now we're in resource town. I've never done this before, but I have read about it and it looks really cool. Theoretically, we can define variables and functions and all that, and we can do that in a scalable way. Pistol resource. I think we want to export. This is I'm so deep. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm still going and I can't stop at this point. So at export. So that gives us, but we don't have a scene, so I don't know what I'm exporting this to. Do I even need this script? I think the only reason I have this script is just to translate the resource, to make the resource more easily parsable. Func set data. Okay, so we have a weapon data. We're gonna want to call shoot func shoot, which is just going to call weapon data dot shoot. And then in the weapon, how deep we're going to go? Where do I get to write the code? This is how this works? I thought like open. This opens to this? What is this? Excuse me for a second. Godot, how do resources work? Resources are data containers. We create a tscn file. Yeah, no, that's not true. We create a tres file. Creating a resource. Okay. Create a new resource object in the inspector. This can be a type that derives resources as long as your script is extending that script. Set the script property in the inspector to be your script. Create a resource and name it botstats. It should appear in your file tab with the full name botstats.trs. Without a script, it's useless. So let's add some data and logic. Attach it to a script named botstats.gd or create a new script and then drag to it. Like that. We will need to, it doesn't extend anything, so we don't need to worry about that, but we do need to define this function that I've just decided. Func shoot. This is where I would define my actual logic. This is where I've been spinning around, delaying, procrastinating, and doing all that for this moment. We have too many of these open. I don't even believe in weapons. Go to here, we open this script up, we see all of this code. I'm going to copy it. We can't do this because we're not a world 3D. So that's a problem. Can we get the camera direction from here? So we're a weapon. We exist inside of the active weapon component. So if we get active weapon component dot, this doesn't have a parent, so we can't call get parent. We need to maybe pass in the space state and the camera direction. I think that's fine. So we can say, okay, I'll calculate the shoot, but you have to help me out here. You have to give me the space. Why is the 3 a different color? Camera. We'll pass that in. We'll go back up here. Whoops, I did it again. Wait, where did I not define shoot yet? Active weapon dot shoot. We need to pass in the 3D space from the player. And then we need to pass in the camera direction. So this I'm fine with. Calling get parent sucks, so let's not do that in a shoot function. Var player equals player. Player equals get parent. We also want the camera. And this is actually not a camera 3D. This is a camera direction, which is a point 3D, marker 3D. Okay, active weapon equals, I still haven't figured that out. We'll come back to that. We don't need this. Okay. We now have a pistol. Not quite, but work in progress. Theoretically, if we define a weapon and we give it the pistol T-res, okay, if we define that, what kind of pistol is it? Machine pistol, shotgun pistol? It's the pistol. Weapon dot new. We need to active weapon dot set data, and then I don't know how to set the data other than this way. Do you have art assets for this yet? No, not for the weapons. I have 3 assets that I've made. I've made this guard picture. All right, just press play. I've got walls, I've got doors, and this guy. That's it. That's all the assets I have. So this pistol will just be the Godot symbol, and that's fine. But no, this is set up actually. We're all good. I just need to looking good. Yeah. Placeholder percent successful. I haven't actually added the component until now. Oh, we also need the inventory component. All right, we have an active weapon. We have everything should be playing nice. Just kidding. Invalid type and function set data. Cannot convert argument 1 from string to object. Lad. Yes, that's what I meant to say. Get world 3D not found in base self. Oof. Wait, where? I'm not calling that function. Why does it think I'm calling that function? I'm not calling it. It doesn't exist. This will never work. We also don't have a position. Okay, this function is cursed. What we can do is update it a little. We're not just passing the state. We're passing the whole player. All right. Then we go down to the weapon. No. Now we're not passing the space duty. We're passing the player. Okay, and then we go down here into this script. No, not. This isn't the space state. This is the player. Oh. All right. Get world 3D not found in base self. Where is this coming from? It's a Node 3D method. This is a Node 3D object. So that should work. Character body 3D, actually. Could I do something like this? Data string equals, well, okay. Set data equals load data string. Okay, there we go. Get world 3D not found in base self. But it's not in the base, it's in the player. Can I see like the player variable? Oh, is player blank at this point? No such thing as player? What is this symbol? What? I'm not going to have a resource inherit node 2D. Could I just pass in the world instead? Like, oof. I don't know. Maybe this doesn't make any sense to have this in here. Maybe it makes more sense to put it here. And then this might still fail, but we can make this a node 3D. What? That wasn't the problem, was it? Is this the kind of thing where if I just get parent, add parent, active, add child here, then it'll work? Something like that. Oh, no, that wasn't it. Okay. It's just the player has an active weapon component and we have a node 4 here. We have weapon data, but it's empty. But this is empty. What? Why is it complaining about that? I don't understand. What? Why is this working now? I don't have a way to shoot. That was weird. It's like I was editing a different script that didn't exist. So this shoot function will open a door. That's fine. That's fine. We're just getting this. We're getting warmed up. We have a weapon. It's a pistol. We've loaded it. Do I even need to do this like this? I would prefer if I could just honestly like comment those. I don't think we actually can get away with that, but we can go back down here to our weapons and uncomment this. Okay, let's just add a function that lets us shoot now. Do we have an input handler? We do. Okay, so func if event dot is action pressed FPS fire player dot fire weapon. Oh, non-existent function shoot in base resource. Pretty sure that function does exist. It's not non-existent, it's right there. Am I not allowed to put function? Is this just not what resources are meant to be? I thought I was allowed to put functions in a resource. Scene, save. Okay, it works now. I'm shooting ammo, and I just opened a door. Okay, I just opened a door at long range, so it works now. I don't understand why that didn't. What's going on? Why is this so cursed? What is this unsaved? Get that out of here. Discard that. What is that even? Close. Discard. What is going on? Okay. Instead of shooting doors, we want to shoot mobs. But we have a basic shooting weapon. We can be a little more. We can go a little further. We can say the weapon has a sprite, and we make that sprite pop up at the bottom of the screen. So func get sprite return weapon data dot sprite, and then in here var sprite equals load. Nope. I think we can just drag Oh, it does need to be a load. That doesn't work. No, it needs to be, how do we create a sprite 2D? Func. Maybe we should just be like sprite path equals. That's wrong. Try this. And then we go to the weapon, and in the weapon we say, hey, you want the sprite? It's if sprite return sprite, else sprite equals sprite 2d.new sprite dot frame equals load weapon data dot sprite. What does this, it's not called frame, is it? What is it called? Texture. There we go. Return sprite. Okay, that gets us that. We go back to our active weapon component because now we can call func active raise weapon, draw weapon, dot get sprite. And then we want to take the existing weapon, lower it, and then raise the new weapon up. So first, if sprite we want to tween it down off screen, but I don't. How do we use tweens? Tween. Okay, var tween equals create tween. We want to take the existing sprite, move it down. So it's not going to be a sprite, is it? It's going to be something else. Let me go to here. What controls? It's going to be like a picture here, like a rect, texture rect. Because I think a texture rect can be a sprite. So we'll put it here. I don't know. Probably needs to be bigger than that. We'll set the texture. That means we need this. Okay, so we're going to call this weapon sprite. But it's not a weapon. It's not a sprite. It's a texture rect. We'll go back here. Cool, I did it again. No, we're gonna go to the script, then we're gonna go to the active web component. Okay, this is actually a texture rect. Create a tween. And then we tween property. Position, Y position plus 100. I don't know. That's not how that works. Weapon sprite, but first we need to set the weapon sprite. Equals player dot get parent dot get node control weapon sprite. Okay, now we have the weapon sprite. We can make it go down. Thinking. Sprite. Active weapon sprite. Position. Final val is vector 2i. No, it needs to be vector 2. Zero, negative 200, I guess. And then it needs to, this can happen over 1 second. And then we need to wait for the tween to finish. Await tween dot finished. There we go. At this point, the weapon is lowered. If it's not, because it doesn't exist, then weapon sprite dot position equals vector 2 0 negative 200. Okay, now we have that in the position. Now we get var sprite equals that. Weapons. We should actually not do this. Weapon sprite dot texture equals that. Cool, great, excellent, awesome. And then we need to tween it back up. Var tween equals create tween dot tween property weapon sprite position vector 2 0 0 1.0. Okay, and we're done. Now all we have to do is switch weapon to this. Theoretically, we should be able to switch the weapon to itself just to test that this function works. So, fire weapon works, func switch weapon. Amazing. Dot switch weapon active dot active weapon. Okay, there we go. I need a button to activate this function. FPS weapon 1. All right, and we press the 1 key, we go to the input handler. We say whenever we press if event.is action pressed, FPS switch FPS weapon 1. go back to the player because, oh, I did it again. Okay, now whenever we press 1, it crashes. Invalid access to property key sprite on a base object type resource, blah, 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 blah. But this is a string. Right? There's no such thing as sprite in this thing? Sprite path. Oh. What do you mean invalid? This is very valid. Oh my goodness. Is this okay, is this not the right resource? Okay, give me a new resource. Open it up. Let me just shove this in here. And we're good. Okay, we moved on. We're on a new thing. Non-existent function property. It's fair. I'm pressing the button, but I'm not, there's no, hold on. Well, that's not the right spot. That's not the right spot at all. All right, so the logic is working. We're just not getting the sprite. Time to start debugging. Get this out of here. Right. Where's the weapon? There it is. Okay. Print the sprite string. Okay, that is true. So we have the correct thing here. This is not correct. The sprite texture cannot be this. Or can it? Oh, no, that's a compressed texture. That looks correct. Okay, so we are returning. We're getting past here. So is the problem above us? Object null. Okay, so there is no texture here. It should be getting applied. What if we print, instead of that, what if we print this? Okay, this is returning a sprite. That's a little sus. Why is this not getting set? Why is it? Well, okay. Maybe it's not called texture. Maybe it's not called that. Let's go ahead and look in here. It's called texture. Great. Love that. It's even in the right spot. Why is it in the wrong spot? is that happening? It's deleting the object. Oh, I did it again. Can I not? Can I please stop? Okay. Something is wrong. Obviously. Setting weapon sprite.texture is giving me null. Is there a function that I need to be calling? Because it's a texture rect. It needs to take a texture 2D, not a sprite 2D. Set texture? Does this work? No. What if we make this a compressed texture 2D? Okay, I have idea. There we go. Okay. So we're getting the texture out of the sprite and we're putting it into the... That seems a little inefficient, but it works. Problem, though. As you can see, for some reason this is getting moved all the way up here. I was kind of hoping that it would stay within its container. Oh, but there is no container. I see the problem. Okay. I can fix that. Container. What are you mad about? Change to a node or a control. Yeah. Okay. Then all our logic should work. Right. I didn't update this. Okay. I was hoping it would go down, but the problem is y negative is actually up. So that's my bad. Yeah, there we go. That's what I wanted. All right, we swapped to our weapon. If we click, we'll open doors. Call that a win. Oh, I already hit that done. All right, we need shootable mobs now. All right, let's make our mob shootable. Really, we don't have a script for this guy? That's silly. We need a health component. There we go. That took a second. If we shoot something and it's a mob, it must have a health component. We will go grab its health component and we will subtract HP. How much HP? We'll subtract all the HP, 100 HP. So let's go to the weapon. We need to update the script. if the collided is a mob, collided.getNode health component dot subtract health 100. Oh. We need to actually make the script anyway. Okay. I thought I had a thing that says dead on death. Oh. No, it should say oops, no death. Okay, not only does it not say oops, no death, but I just opened a door with my gun. And I'm pretty sure I removed that code. So what is this? Why does this not update? Give me this. Okay, edit. How do I edit this? How am I supposed to edit scripts? Or resources. Godot edit a resource. In the editor's inspector doc, via scripts at runtime or by using editor plugins. Locate the resource file in a system. I do not understand. Close. No, don't save. No one cares about you. Okay, where did I save that to? Don't worry about it. It works now. We can't open doors by shooting them anymore. But you know what we can do? Not shoot this guy? Why isn't it shooting this guy? Well, I'm out of ammo, so... let's go into our script and verify that this works. It's not giving me a result. I'm shooting, but nothing's happening. I'm starting to regret using resources. Okay, now it's working. Are we shooting? We're shooting a static body. No, that's no good. It's like we're shooting past the mob. Oh, the mob doesn't have a collider. That's the problem. We only will pick up things that we have collision with. So we actually absolutely have to have a collider. Collider. Can we put it on the sprite 3D and it'll work? No, we need to have a character body 3D. Oh, we can just make this a character body 3D. Bump. All right, we did it. Let's make this a box shape. That's bigger than it needs to be. How big is the player? We could just actually just copy this one. Okay. Oh, I'm shooting them. Okay, so I'm shooting them, but they are notably not dead. That is an unfortunate. What is going on? Are we calling the function? Oh, they're not getting caught. Class name is mob, but it extends node 3D, not character body 3D. This should be, it shouldn't be seeing a character body 3D. It should be seeing a mob. It's weird. Control isn't firing. Good thing left click is. Yeah, it says that's a character body 3D, but it's a mob. It shouldn't be a character body 3D. Unless I have to change the type to mob. Character body 3D, don't worry. There we go. I'm pretty sure I bound left control to be shoot. No, what? It's not a character body 3D. Like it isn't. It just isn't. Oh, it is. Why isn't this working? Tired of doing this. I don't understand resources, and I hate it. If I change this to, instead of mob, character body 3D. Can we please just, can this work? Oh my God. Oh, I see the problem, because this is get parent twice. This should be get parent once, because we're just getting the parent. Why did I do that before? There's probably a reason, but there's an actual bug with that code. How did it ever work? Oh, it's because it was meant for doors, and doors, the collision isn't directly in there like I would think. Okay, no. Parent Collided, please. What is this? Mesh instance, that's reasonable. It's a world. All right, we're targeting the world. So calling getResult.collider is actually not giving us the collision shape. It's giving us the object the collision shape is attached to. Okay. Okay. Got it. Hey, we got the health. Okay, it's working again. All right, that was the problem. All right. Well, now we have a way to shoot mobs. We need to add a death. Func on death. Is it on death or on death? I'm pretty sure it's on death. Yeah, on death. We'll set our position down a meter. Or we'll rotate sideways. We'll rotate our sprite sideways. Var tween equals create tween dot tween property self position so if they die, they should go down 1 meter. Okay, and that's clearly not working. This property does not exist. How do I set the Y position of an object? Dot, all right. It is Y. What are you talking about? Oh. That should work. Does this not work? It's not. It's too complicated. I mean, I could do this. Whatever. Let's go shoot a nerd. I didn't think it would go that deep. I just wanted you to stick out of the ground. Great. Why is that 0.1? I'm not going to worry about it. We're going to call that a success. What do you mean invalid numeric notation? You don't put a D after your whatever. Done. All right, now we got to make our mobs move. Oof. Okay. Man, it's been an hour and a half. I got 2 things in. Great. At this pace, I'm not going to make it. Let's keep going. Don't lose hope. Component time. Let's add a new component. We got a think component. The think component's job is to give the mob the duty to test periodically, do I see the player? If so, wake up. Then, if I'm awake, wiggle a little, move in random directions, and then shoot the player periodically. Periodically do damage to the player. That's it. I said all that and I've already forgotten it all. Great. Attach script. We're going to make the think component a thing. All right, done. Let's go into our mob, add a think component. Let's go in here, func, think. And we should pass the delta. We should pass that along. So I need to pause for a second and think, and also take a quick break. I'll be right back. Okay. Running out of steam. Thinking mobs, move and shoot. Sleeping mobs. I think I'll have time to get to these, and then the rest we'll have to do Tuesday. If awake, if not awake, we want to get the player and do a trace to the player. We want to do a raycast, but we want to have like a watching cooldown. So every second, basically every second and a half, we want to do this raycast. Okay. If we're not awake, increment the check awake time. Nope, that's not how that works. Check awake plus equals delta. If check awake is greater than check awake time, then it's time to check. How do I do the thing that I'm trying to think of? Basically, we want to take this function, but instead of doing damage, we're just saying, if this collides with the player, then let's wake up. Theoretically, then I should be able to make this mob again. So let's take this logic, move it to the mob. Self.position, level.position, then we do a query. Let's exclude, can we exclude like all mobs? No, we can't. Okay, so this will put us in a situation where a mob will not wake up if there's a mob between it and another player. That's okay. We'll just have to recognize that that can happen. If player, then awake equals true. Else, then we are awake. All that move and shoot. Logic. Pass. Let's just see if our dude will wake up. There it is. So we need to set a speed. I'm going to say 80. We need to take the player movement logic. Take it to the mob. Okay, instead of this, I don't want, so, okay, I need to say what I'm thinking out loud. I want the mob to change directions randomly, but I don't want it to change directions every frame. I want it to change directions every 1.5 seconds, which I have that variable right here. I just want to make this check think time. So we're just going to go ahead and check think. We're going to say we're going to take this variable, move it out here. Or if there's no movement, direct vector. Movement equals vector 3 random f from negative 1.0 to 1.0, 0 rand f negative 1.0 to 1.0. Just move in random directions. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Too many arguments for randf. Expected most but received 2. What am I thinking of? Randf range. All right, instead of all this, we don't need the direction. Or do we? What is the direction for? Oh, no, we don't need a direction. No, who cares about direction? We're not sprinting. We're not rotating. We're not doing any of that. Velocity, why is this? Identifier direction is not okay. We don't care about direction. We also don't care about gravity. All right. That should be good. The guys should move in random directions now once they're awake. Yeah, and they should not go through the walls. Because they have a collision object. All right, and then we can shoot them. Oh, they keep thinking if they're not dead. All right. var alive equals true. If not alive, return. Okay, that's fine. We could go so far as to say, take your think component and throw it away. Save resources, you know? That actually might be more clever. Oh. Still got it. That's poetic in a way. When you die, throw your thinking away. All right. Now we just need to add one more thing. When we do this, let's do, it's a 50, let's do like a shoot chance. const shoot chance equals 0.5. Okay, no, it's 25, whatever. Var so we either will change direction or shoot. If we don't have a direction, we'll change direction first. If there's no movement, okay, so if randf is less than shoot chance and movement, then, okay, we should actually swap those for efficiency. If movement and randf is greater than or is less than the shoot chance, then we shoot. Else shoot player. And the shooting logic is just going to be this code again that I'm just going to, this should have probably gone in a helper function, like raycast helper. Yeah. Okay, if we shoot the player, then get the player's health component. Dot subtract HP randi, I don't know, 1540. We'll figure that out. Non-existent function, it should be health. Subtract health. Okay, if they shoot, they should stop moving. Movement equals null. And then check think equals 1.0. So like you shoot. What? Dot none. Come on. Non-existent function subtract health D. 0D. Oh, I keep doing it. Sure is taking a sweet time to shoot. There we go. Okay. So they're not actually pausing. velocity, movement times speed times delta. But if movement is 0, then they shouldn't move. Yeah, they're still moving after they shoot. What the heck? Oh, it's because if check time or movement. So it'll immediately set a new movement. All right. I want them to be temporarily like not moving. That's all I want. All right, I did it again. Get that D out of here. If they stop moving for half a second. Yeah. Yeah, perfect. All right, and then they're shot. All right, they're dead. Okay, great. They move and shoot. Done. They also sleep. They wake up when you see them. They should wake up when you shoot. I don't know how to do that. Like, get all mobs within 124, 1,000 radius, and then wake them up. Okay. Let's do that, and then that's the end. That's where I'll stop the stream. We'll do locked doors and keys. We'll add basic items, secret walls, and then this I think we can put off till Thursday. We need to create a new handler, the think handler. Or I should say the mob handler. Your job is to have all mobs. And then whenever we shoot, we're going to look at every mob and check to see if we're in range. That's the whole purpose of this today. Oh, that's not how that works. Let me grab the mob handler. Add. Okay. When the game spawns a new doodad. Oh, the level loader handles that. Okay, level loader. When you create a mob, do me a favor. Mob handler dot add mob. Our mob list is an array of mobs. It's empty to begin with. We add the mob. Mob list dot append mob. Okay, great. Func remove mob. Mob list dot remove. Nope. Erase mob. Okay, great. Now we just need to. I think that's it. We need to go to the player. When you shoot, when you fire the weapon, mob handler dot for mob and mob handler dot mob list. If position dot distance to mob dot position is less than, I don't know, const weapon sound dist equals 50.0. Mob dot wake up. Oh. Already awake, huh? Something that I want to do, it's not essential right now, but something I want to do. In Wolfenstein 3D, the game is actually extremely forgiving about your aim. It's got like very generous aim compensation. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how you make like a raycast that's like a cone cast. I do want to turn this raycast into a cone. We can potentially do that because we have the mob handler. We can just go through the mobs and say, are you in this cone? Are you in this cone? Are you in this cone? And like, that's not a great solution, but it is a solution. And it'll work for the game jam. So if it comes down to that, that's how I'm going to do it. But to do, for the purposes of this list, we're done. We've got the basic shooting weapon. We've got shootable mobs. They shoot back. We don't have graphics. We don't have sound. So this looks super jank and garbage. And also the art that I drew, I'm noticing now. That didn't wake up the mob. That's a little weird. Oh, it did. It just didn't. Oh, because I removed the print line. Their feet are not touching the floor. I don't know how to make that the case. I thought that was the case, but you know. Adding art and sounds is next week. So it's just, this game is gonna feel bad until we get to that point. But that's that. Let me go ahead and get rid of this. We don't want to have that. Let me do one more thing before we call it quits. So we got the entity data. We can add a couple more entities. Put one there. Hello? There, and there. And then I would like to go into my active weapon component. No, I would like to go into the player and increase the amount of ammo. So that's actually in the ammo handler. I don't want to start with 8. Let's start with 18. Oh, geez, I'm almost dead. You can't tell unless you look in the bottom left corner of the game, which is silly, but yeah. Oh, that doesn't throw away their collision. All right, I'm really glad I did this because now we have one more thing to do. When the mob dies, throw its collision away. We don't need that anymore. We're beyond collision. It might be more efficient to, instead of throwing the collision away, just disable it And that opens up the door for us to make arch files in our game where we can resurrect enemies. No, that's Doom. We're not making Doom. Let me just... Yeah, that's a game. All right. Well, I don't want to keep going because I will burn out if I do that. So I'm going to stop here. I'm going to take the win. I didn't make as much progress as I had hoped, but I feel confident that this is all adding the lock door. The hardest part is going to be adding this. Once we add this, everything else is easy. Adding keys is just an extension of items. If we have items we can pick up, we have keys. Basic obstacle, super easy. It's just a collision box. Secret walls. Our use thing is already hitting walls. So if we just have a wall that has logic, that's like, if you use me, I'll do a thing. That should be pretty easy. 30 minutes to make this work. End of level switch, I don't feel particularly... Like, it's easy in theory, but there's a lot of planning behind that, where it's like, okay, now I need to have logic for unloading the level. I need to have logic for loading the level. We already have a logic for loading the level, but I need to have a screen that pops up and has like, you killed this many dudes, and you got this many items, and this how many secret doors you found, and that kind of stuff. It's not hard. Like, it's not like we need to invent new math. No. It's simple enough. It's just a matter of like doing it. Adding floor and ceiling decor is super easy. I'm pretty sure I could knock that out in 5 minutes. And then adding the main menu, also 5 minutes, because this can just be a placeholder. It can just be a button that says like new game and exit. We're done. And if we get there, week 1's a success. So I'm confident. I'm building confidence that we'll get there. But anyway, this is where I roll off. We've got a lot to think about and an art problem to tackle for next week. I don't know how to solve that. That's going to be mainly what I'm thinking about. How do I generate either I need to be able to generate 50 sprites to make a mob, or I need to find a shortcut. And even if the 50 sprites includes like, there's 5 sprites for a walking animation in 8 different directions. So what if I just like cut some of those directions out and then I just mirrored the sprite? That's still leaving me with like 24 something sprites to do, and it took me like an hour to make this one. It was not fast, and like this looks fine. It's obviously not good. This is like a C- in my opinion. Maybe D+. I could not crank out 32 of these. Anyway, all right, enough of that. Thanks everybody for watching. Hope this was cool. I've been seeing other people's Wolfenstein clones they've posted on Discord, and you know, there's a lot of stiff competition I see. I hope your game is going well. I hope things are shaping up for you. And if not, well, play lots of games and have lots of fun. See you all next time.